Well, good afternoon again, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the number 8's competition here at the Mitsubishi Big Show of 2017. We're just about to get underway with rotation number 6, and I've got here with me this time Mr. Big Show himself, Wayne McGee. Wayne, how are you feeling about things so far today, mate?
Oh, mate, it's going nice and smooth. Everything seems to be going to plan, and yeah, just get this 6th rotation out of the road and then work out who gets to come back to rope their 3rd steer, and then work out who gets their top 10 steer back tonight to see who wins the cars and the bikes and the trailers and everything else.
Yeah, mate, it's very exciting this time of the day on the last day of the competition. We're getting to the pointy end of the entire program. Mate, there's been a little bit of talk about different dates being juggled around and things like that throughout some of the posts that you've put out during the week. Can you just go through a few ideas on next year's program again, just so all our Facebook friends and everybody else here at ALEC this afternoon gets to hear that again as well?
Well, both Melissa and I will agree that, you know, this is not ideal time because entries have to be taken sort of leading up to Christmas and over Christmas, and people need to find money. So I've spoken to the guys at ALEC and asked them, you know, if there's some other dates become available earlier in the year to let us know. And I had a meeting with them on Friday, and there's a possibility that there may be a date in March, and there may also be a date become available in May. So nothing's in pen yet, but there is a possibility that we might be able to get to where we can sort of call for entries. You know, if we can get maybe that May Day date, we might be able to take entries sort of after Christmas, let people get over Christmas, get back from the World Series. I mean, that is, a lot of our competitors go to the World Series, which is in December. So, I mean, it's, you know, we're working on it. As you know, I missed my little girl's 9th birthday, so this week is not ideal for us either. And, you know, we don't get to enjoy Christmas like we'd like because of entries, but the only date we could get was this week. So we are working on it. I'm just going to ask people to stay posted. We should have an answer to that here in the next week or 10 days, so we can get the exact dates of next year's roping.
Yeah, well, there you are, ladies and gentlemen. That's straight from the boss's mouth. Once again, the Big Show crew trying to make things better each and every year here at the Mitsubishi Team Roping Championships at ALEC. Well, let's get down to rotation number 6.
Just a big good luck to everyone. I guess it's that time. It's just go get them.
This is when it does get tough here in the rotation, in the last rotation. This is when the level of intensity starts to rise a little bit. So if you see something you like on Facebook, don't forget to press the like or the heart button. And let's go down to the rope box.
Don't be afraid to give our announcers a little bit of love. All the competitors are getting them, but these fellas are going a little bit dry. So we need to look after them a little bit. They need all the love they can get.
There's no doubt about that. All right, rotation number 6. Here's the first 5 teams out. Melissa Wilburn, Lacey J. O'Halloran, Jordan Moore and Cody Granger, Lindsay Speedy and Mitch Waldersberger, Gary Tielan and Brian Holland, and Bob Holder and Daryl Dix. All right, let's go, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, let's start off with an all-girls team. 2 lovely young ladies, Melissa Wilburn and Lacey J. O'Halloran. Oh, goodness me, just overshot the mark there a little bit. We'll look for our flag judge. Now we get to do it again, girls. There you go. They jumped out on little old black and white steer. Didn't really want to play the game, so we're going to see pretty girls and fast horses. The all-girls team of Melissa Wilburn and Lacey J. O'Halloran. We're going to see them back in there. Hey, girls, you're going back now. Oh, Melissa needs a rope. at the end? Okay, thank you, sir. Melissa Wilburn and Lacey J, you're going to get rolled onto the end of the round. So is it you can gather your rope, Melissa, you can gather your thoughts again. Let's go down to Geordie Moore. Geordie's 290 in the draw with her partner on the back end in Cody Granger. Geordie very proudly sponsored by Rockin' M. Come on, Geordie, get out there in this round and get one on. Oh, gee whiz. No time on the board, unfortunately, for Geordie and Cody. Let's go down to Lindsay Speedy and Mitch Waldersberger. Number 291 in the draw. Oh, they'll be followed by 92 and Gary Tielan and Brian Holland, I should say. Bob Holder and Daryl Dix in 293. Please be ready. Lindsay Speedy gets out there to get one on, but it didn't quite all work, unfortunately, here in the first round, and no time on the board. Gary Tielan, ladies and gentlemen, in there. It'll have Henry Burgess on the screen, but due to injury, Henry's not roping in this rotation. So around the corner, Gary Tielan for his partner in Brian Holland. Territory Bandag. Go Dad. Brian Holland, your daughter is on Facebook saying, go Dad. Anna, by the sounds of it, was very keen. All right, let's go down right now to Bob Holder and Daryl Dix. Bob Holder gets one on the corner for Daryl Dix. They come around the corner. Oh, yeah, Daryl, are we going to get him stretched? $11.19 plus 5, 11.19, and 5 for a 16.19 here in the first round. Can't see nothing. Wade Farquhar and Danny Pacey, ladies and gentlemen, get out there. Wade on account of the Rockin' W Ranch. Oh, gee whiz. No joy, unfortunately there for Wade and Danny, and no time on the board. So we're 5 out, 1 for a rerun, 4 in the dirt, 1 on the board. Adam Bates, Scone Bucking Bull Association, has sponsored Adam Bates for this next run. He's going to turn one around for Joe Birch. They're currently number 295 in the draw. We'll then look for Adam Tozer and Lee Robson in 96. Rachel Haley and Dave Brown in 97. Craig Dowsett and Rodney Chris, please be ready in 298. Currently watching 295. Come on, Batesy, get out there and get it on. Get that rope to working around the bend, friend. Oh, but no joy there for the Bates and Birch team. Adam Tozer, Lee Robson. Adam Tozer and Lee Robson. Now we've got a little bit of a chokehold on the music, so now you can hear me down there, ladies and gentlemen, I hope. Lee Robson. Ryan for Tyres Warwick. Sponsored Cowboy on the back end. Come on, Robbo, slide in there behind Adam. Pick up 1, pick up 2. A time on the board. Well done. 9.29. A new rotation leader. 9.29 for Adam Tozer and Lee Robson. Let's go down to a number 6's incentive, a number 7's incentive. Rachel Haley, Dave Brown, they're 297 in the draw. They're going to be followed by Craig and Rodney in 98, 299. It'll be Charlie and Barry. And in 300, we're going to look for Jamie Robbins and Cal Lucas. Well, bummer. No joy, unfortunately, there for Rachel Haley with the head loop and a no time on the board. Proudly sponsored by CM and RM Dowsett is Craig Dowsett making his way in. He's going to turn one around for Rodney Crisp. Oh, Craig bites down on the match once again. Gets it on the horns around the corner. Let's get 2 feet, Rodney Crisp. Goodness me, a good player out of luck, sir. I thought you deserved a better fate. Unfortunately, there, no time on the board. We'll go to 2.99 in the draw. Charlie Clancy and Barry Golder. They're going to be followed by Jamie Robbins and Kel Lucas in 300. Lauren Smith and Sally Pilgrim in 301. And then Donald Abriel and Rob Leach. Please be ready. Charlie Clancy gets it on around the corner for Barry, who rides in to set a trap, but no cow. And a no time on the board. Here's a seniors team with Jamie Robbins and Kel Lucas. Jamie very proudly supported here in the rotation 6 by CMH Electrical. A 5-second penalty on the barrier, unfortunately, for the boys, but just get on the board. Come on, Kel, get in there and get a couple. A clean run, 8.90 plus 5 on the barrier, excuse me, a clean run on the heels. And 8.90 plus 5. That's going to give those boys a 13.90 as we move down to 301 in the draw. Lauren Smith and Sally Pilgrim. Here's an all-girls team. Yep, that's right. The last team was clean in the field, but they did incur a 5-second speeding penalty at the barrier. Lauren Smith, Sally Pilgrim, they'll be followed by Donald Abriel and Rob Leach in 302. 303, John Flanagan and Kim Moulton. Please be ready. Lauren loads it up, pulls the trigger, but unfortunately no joy. And no time on the board. Donald Abriel, ladies and gentlemen. One of our crowd favourites here, been coming here each and every year now, supporting the Mitsubishi Big Show. He's going to turn one around for his partner in Rob Leach, from Rob Leach Equine. Yeah, gets it on. Rob Leach come round the bend. Oh, yeah, it's okay if you do it like that. 9.07 plus 5, a 9.07 plus 5. It wasn't pretty, but it's on, no doubt. 14.07 for Abriel and for Dunhill and Rob. Let's look for John Flanagan and Kim Moulton right now in 303. Over the page we'll go then to Steve Hannon and Ben Brazier in 304. 305 will be Brett Woodbridge and Craig Guilford. Get ourselves a few extra ones at the barrier. Come on, Kim, slide in there and rope 2 feet, as you know fully well you can. That's exactly what we want to see, young lady. 9.26 plus 5 on the barrier for a 14.26. Rob and Lisa Cooley said, go Kimmy. Go Kimmy. I tell you what, they're going to be happy with a pair of clean heels there. Kim Moulton, well done. Let's go to Steve Hannon, Allera Heavy Mechanical sponsored Cowboy. Going to turn one around for Ben Brazier. Well. Lost a little bit of power on the loop there, Steve Hannon. Not really sure what fell to bits there for the boys, but a no time on the board as we go to 305 in Brett Woodbridge and Craig Guilford. A number 6s and 7s team. Of course, Craig Guilford, proudly supported here by Guilford Transport, as can be seen on the Mitsubishi Motors Big Screens Australia big screen. Out we get right now. Brett gets one on around the corner for Craig. Rides in, sets a trap. Hey, there's a couple of hind feet and a time on the board of 9.69. Well done, gentlemen. 9.69 seconds. Trent Eggins, ladies and gentlemen, one of the nice guys at Team Roping, a lovely young gentleman. I met him yesterday, had the fortunate pleasure to do so. Turned one around for Jay Green here at the big show, but it didn't quite all come together, unfortunately. As we go to 3:07 in the draw, Drayden Hutchins, proudly sponsored by Robbie Boynton, is going to turn one around for the Central Queensland Cowboy and Warwick Kime. They're 3:07 in the draw. Next up will be Dave Shegog and William Thompson. Following them will be Wade Forster and Terry Flute. Then in 3:10 we'll have Darren Livingston and Chris McKenzie. And in 3:11 will be Tom Morrison and Rob Haley. 3:07. Hey, don't forget, down to the Cattleman Steakhouse, ladies and gentlemen, right next door to ALEC. First beer free to anyone wearing a hat. Richard Manning, thank you very much, sir. We thoroughly appreciate that sort of support. No joy, unfortunately, there for Drayden and Warwick. The boys going to leave with a no time. Let's go to Dave Shegog. He'll be the next young man riding into the heading box. Going to turn one around for William Thompson. William very proudly sponsored by Dartmoor Limestone and Mills, Rhodes Farm, Moodajup. There you go. Hey, around the corner we're going to go with Dave Shegog. William Thompson slides in. There's a qualified run on the board, +5 of 10.22 and 5 for a 15.22 on 1 after 2. 3:09 in the draw, Wade Forster and Terry Flute. They're going to rope a steer here at the Mitsubishi Big Show for 2017. And ladies and gentlemen, you are going to get to watch it happen. Wade Forster with a head loop. Wasn't pretty, but it's worked really quite effectively. Terry Flute rides in, sets a trap. Little Red and White was trotting along and didn't really pick his feet up to get in there for the JR Cattle Company sponsored Cowboy, and a no time on the board. Let's go down to Darren Livingston and Chris McKenzie. These two gentlemen sponsored by Livingston Concrete in the heading box and Rawhide Western Wear on the back end. There's 310 in the draw. They'll be followed by 3:11. It'll be Tommy Morrison and Rob Haley. Will then look for Tielan and Tony Lillyman. Round the corner for Chris McKenzie to set a trap, but a no time on the back end, and 57,000 people all breathed in at once with a no time on the board. Rockabilly Performance Stables. There you are, ladies and gentlemen. You can see it on the big screen now for Tom Morrison. Get out there, Tommy boy, and turn one around for Rob Haley. Oh, goodness me. Goes for the Rex Hunt Fish and no joy. 3:12, Teal Ayers and Tony Lillyman. Tony Lillyman once again very proudly sponsored here in the number 8's competition by the Winifred Pro. See Tony Lillyman. All that you like, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, he's the man to talk to about acquiring one of the great team roping dummies in Winifred Pro. Gets out now, does Teal Ayers. Lovely head loop, young lady. I tell you what, you'll feel feeling good with Tony Lillyman himself on the back end. That's what it should look like, Doob. How's about an 8.6 for Ayers and Lillyman, an 8.60. Simon Collins. You're going to turn one around for your friend in the healing box in Scott Fuller. Scott Fuller very proudly sponsored here by Beachmere Fiberglass here in this run. Simon Collins gets one around for Scott Fuller. Oh. No, the boys have looked down and realised that it wasn't what it needed to be in the head loop. And a no time on the board. Okay, next up should be David Corr and Brandon Tills in 3:13. David Corr and Brandon Tills in 3:13. They'll be followed. There is a strange number in the draw there. It was muddled up somehow when the computer ran out of kerosene. But make no mistake, the young gentleman making his way into the head box right now absolutely has the authority to do so. David Corr and Brandon Tills. Ace B fencing. Here comes the Ace B fencing sponsored Cowboy and David Corr outside right now. Got it round, takes 2 wraps on the dally. Hey, there you go, a qualified run on the board. Brandon Tills, very well roped young man. 8.48. 8.48 seconds. Next up, we go to 3:15 in the draw. Mark Horich and Bernard Delalio. They'll be followed by the Flanagan family and Daniel Flanagan and Lachlan Flanagan in 3:16 in the draw. Then let's go over the page to Emily Silter and Pete Silter in 3:17. Mark Horich around the corner for, oh yeah, nice job, Bernard Delalio. We'll have a time on the board of 9.54 plus 5. 9:54 and 5. For a 14.54. Okay. Now we do need Daniel and Lachlan Flanagan on the screen. That's who is up. Come on, young man, right in there and get yourself one. You got 7.74 plus 5. 7.74 and 5. For a 12.74 second run for the Flanagan boys. Let's go over the page right now and go to the Salter family. Emily Salter, Pete Salter, proudly sponsored here in the number 8's rotation number 6 for Instinct Outdoors. Hey, we need Emily Salter and Pete Salter on the screen. There we go, you bet. Oh, Emily. No joy, unfortunately, there for the Instinct Outdoors sponsored team. Let's go down to 3:18 in the draw. Peter Todd Sr., thanks for your patience, mate. It's your go right now with Darryl Brown. You'll be followed then by J.D. Kraft, who'll be turning one around for Jackson Denning in 3:19. 3:20 you'll be Paris and Michael Denning. And we'll then look for Justin Searle and Mick Hockley in 3:21. At the completion of Pete Todd Sr. and Darryl Brown. Oh no, unfortunately there for Pete, it didn't quite all come together. Peter Todd Equine Services proudly helping Pete out down the road. No time on the board. J.D. Kraft is the next competitor into the rope box for Jackson Denning on the back end. Ellen Vale Transport going to help J.D. around the corner. And Taminda Hydraulics and Engineering for Jackson Denning. Jackson, you may ride back down the arena to return the horse after this run, mate, for the next run, because the next run is Paris and Michael Denning. We'll then look for 3:21 in the draw, Justin Searle and Mick Hockley. They'll be in 3:21, 3:22, John Winsper and Brendan Kirsch. Please be ready. Yeah, got ourselves an illegal head catch there for young J.D. Kraft. Unfortunately, no time on the board in round number 1. Okay, Paris and Michael Denning are up next. We're just going to have to wait for a particular horse to get back there, of which it is just about there now. A counter Jackson Denning. Michael Denning, proudly sponsored by MJ Denning Proprietary Limited. We'll then look for Justin Searle and Mick Hockley in 21. 22 will be John and Brendan. 23 is going to be Kai and Clayton. 24 will be John Douch and Brett Lewis. And 3.25 in the draw will be Tatum Kirsch and Darcy Kirsch. Paris and Michael Danning outside right now, unfortunately picked up a front foot as well. Did Paris? Oh no, no, we're on the we're around the neck. She was clean all right. Oh no, it was. Oh, there's no time on the board. Unfortunately, anyway, it didn't quite all work. Justin Searle, Mick Hockley, A&S Moore Farm Partnership. A&S Moore Farm Partnership, come on, get out there, Justin Searle. Get one on for your partner in Mick Hockley. Call Mick around the corner. Delivers a loop, kick old Brownie up. Keep going, boys, keep going, boys. He went to, oh, goodness me. No time there, unfortunately, for Mick, who had to take another swipe at it just about. However, let's go down to 3.22 in the draw. John Winsper and Brendan Kirsch. Proper caps and apparel. Sponsoring the Kirsch family here this weekend. Let's see if Johnny Winsper and Brendan Kirsch can put together a wonderful run here again in round number 1 of rotation number 6. Johnny Winsper, around the corner we go. Brendan Kirsch rides in, slides in, sets a trap. There's 2, 10.33. That'll put a smile on your face, gentlemen, because you know as well as anybody does, it's all about coming back. It's all about coming back to the third round with 2 on after 2 out. Here's a bounty steer for Kai Clark and Clayton Lane. You got to be under 10, boys. Let's see what we can get done. And around the corner we go, but no. No time, unfortunately, for Kai and Clayton. 3.24 on the draw. John Douch and Brett Lewis. Tatum Kirsch and Darcy Kirsch at 3.25. 3.26 will be Natalie Kimber and Jack Winsper. 3.27, Clint Litchfield and Millen Litchfield. Please be ready. John Douch outside right now. Brett Lewis. Oh, goodness me, Bretty Lewis. I thought you were going to slide it under there, but no time, unfortunately, for the Douch and Lewis combination. Let's go to the Kirsch family. Tatum Kirsch. Going to turn one around for Darcy Kirsch. Proper caps and apparel. Both occasions around the corner. Come on, Darcy. Ride in, slide in. Get that rope to go to work, son. There's a time on the board, +5 of 11.45. For a 16.45 on 1 after 1. Natalie Kimber and Jack Winsper, they are up. Natalie Kimber, Jack Winsper. Oh, Natalie, didn't quite all work, unfortunately. Jack Winsper, very proudly sponsored by Cloncurry Tyres and Batteries. A bounty steer for Clint and Millen Litchfield. A bounty steer, a bounty steer. So, if the Litchfield clan can rope this steer clean in under 10 seconds, they take home A great rope halter each from Raw Western Gear. Around the corner does Clint Litchfield go. Millen rides in. Oh, bummer. I so wanted you to win that. No time on board, unfortunately, there for the Litchfield crew. Let's go down to Andrew Lynch and Jess Munro. They're 3:28 in the draw. Zach Leitner and Scott McRae in 3:29. 3:30 will be Mal Fishenden and Brittany Besant. And at 3:31 will be Dean Gilchrist and Ty Granger. Andrew Lynch. Come on, Jess Munro. You'll be able to go again. The clock can count to infinity. Just get on the board, darling. Rides in, pulls the trigger, shoots the rope, but no joy. No joy, unfortunately, for Andrew and Jess. Let's go down to Zach Leitner and Scott McRae. A bounty steer, boys, a bounty steer. You got to be under 10 seconds and clean. Of course, Scott McRae proudly joins us on behalf of Big M Welding. We got Zachy Leitner here with 180 Clothing. Let's see what we can get done right now. Let's get around the corner and get on the leaderboard, boys. And if you're under 10, you'll take home a wonderful rope halter with lead each. Oh, Scott McRae. Good player out of luck, sir, and you deserved a better fate, but no time on the board in that particular time. Mal Fishenden. He backs into the box, going to turn one around for Brittany Besant. Yeah, I love the way Mal Fishenden just gets in the corner, nods his head, gets outside. 1, 2, 3. Around the bend we go. Brittany. Roll. Bummer. Somehow, somewhere, it didn't quite come together for Mal Fishenden and Brittany Besant. Dean Gilchrist and Ty Granger, ladies and gentlemen. There's a number 6's team and a number 7's team. They're 3:31 in the draw. They'll be followed by Todd and Courtney in 32. They've jumped out this team and got themselves a 5-second speeding fine. But let's see if Ty Granger can get in there with a big old loop and get them one wrangled and tangled. Well done, Ty. A 10.01 plus 5 on the barrier for a 15.01. Let's go down to Toddy Litchfield and Courtney Hallam. They'll be followed by Melissa and Jai. And 33, 34 will be Robbie and Robbie. 35 will be Clint and Clint. And 36, Alan Hanlon and Paul Hunkin. Todd Litchfield says, let me out so I can rope it. And he does so. Watch this one, ladies and gentlemen. Ha 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 ha! You bet, Courtney Hallam. I predicted the future, young lady, and you carried it out. 8.80. Put a little pair of pants on a cow. Melissa Harlan, 3:33 in the draw, going to turn one around out of the Warwick district for her partner here in the number 6 rotation for Jai Robson. Come on, Lisso, get it on. Robbo, get that big, heavy orange string around the corner and underneath one, but no. I don't know, I can't explain. No time on the board for Melissa and Jai. Robbie White Jr. and Senior, 3:34 in the draw. Here we got the 2 Robbies. They're going to be followed by the 2 Clints. Yeah, well done, boys. Hey, there's a son and father team. A time on the board of 7.89. Plus 5 at the barrier for a 12.89 on 1 after 2. Let's go to Clint Tills and Clint Dolan. Clint Dolan very proudly sponsored on this particular occasion by the Bowley Barn Hotel in Townsville. Let's go to the Tilson-Dolan combination. Looks like we just had to swap a horse over, and now we look like we're just about ready to go. Clint tilts on the head. As I said, this man has been roping hotter than a little party pie. And there is nothing you can burn your tongue on quicker than a party pie. He's hotter than the sun itself, Clint tilts. He's got the one and only Clint Dolan on the back end. Once again, on and around we go behind a Till steer. Yeah, oh. No, unfortunately, no joy with the heel loop and a no time on the board. Let's go down to Alan Hanlon and Paul Hunkin in 3:36. Katie Vaughan and Johnny Gordon in 3:37. Ken Lucas and Russell Stanley in 3:38. And Troy McKinley and Matthew Edwards in 3:39. Yep, got him on. Alan Hanlon round the bend and headed for home. Well done, Paul Hunkin. There's a pair, 8.60. 8.60 seconds. Katie Vaughan makes her way into the heading box. She's going to turn one around for her healing partner in Johnny Gordon. They stand as still as a cool desert night. Yeah, outside right now, Katie Vaughan. Gets one on, gets one around. Goodness me, goodness me, goodness me. She took 3 wraps at the Dally and couldn't quite find the horn. And unfortunately, no time for Katie and Johnny on that run. Ken Lucas, you're about to rope, sir, with Russell Stanley in 3:38. You'll be followed by Troy McKinley in 3:39 with Matthew Edwards on the back end. Well, then look for Thomas Whitwell and Steve McNamara at 3:40. Okay, so yeah, he'll be standing up there. Ken Lucas gets one on. A little old mule stripe steer. Russell Stanley rides in, waits, pitches it out, takes his slack. No joy, unfortunately, there on the tan and white steer, and no time on the board as Trent McKinley and Matty Edwards make their way in. Matthew Edwards very proudly sponsored by Coastal Warehouse. Ken Lucas, yeah, that's 2 out of 3. Oh, goodness me. Russell Stanley, I thought you were going to get it in under there. No time, unfortunately. A bounty steer. You've drawn Thomas Whitwell and Steve McNamara. A bounty steer. Just be out and be smooth. The IV Vet Supply sponsored Cowboy and Steve McNamara. One of our senior ropers as well, Steve. Oh, bummer, no joy on the back end and a no time on the board. Brett Cooley, thanks for your patience, sir. You're going to turn one around in 3:41 for TJ Scoggin. We'll then look for Nicole Murray and Wendy Cavett in 3:42. Terry McGovern and Brad Kraft in 3:43. Right now as Brett Cooley and TJ make their way outside. Oh, wow. Wow. No joy for TJ Scoggin on the back end. Nicole Murray, proudly sponsored by West Insurance Brokers and Piranha Insurance. A big thank you to Pete Piranha and all the crew up there at Piranha Insurance in downtown Rockhampton. Fine supporters of many Western events are the Piranha family in central Queensland. And Wendy Caven on the back end of this all-girls team, proudly sponsored by Shift Easy app. We might get someone to slide in there and make sure Nicole's getting all the best shots that she can. Wendy Caven right in, slide in, get it tangled on the saddle. No. Unfortunately, after all that effort, girls, how very unfortunate for our all-girls team of Nicole Murray and Wendy Caben. Terry McGovern, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be the next header into the box for Brad Kraft. Then we're going to look for Bruce Cannell and Peter McCormack. In 3:44, Tammy Augustin and Ian Augustin in 45. Gavin Tickle and Jared Fielder in 46, and 3:47 will be Abby Miller and Brady Smith. Don't forget, the last horse and the last team out will be the rerun team of Melissa Wilburn and Lacey J. O'Halloran. They will follow the last team out in the draw, being Robin and Troy. Terry McGovern, kick old Bally up there and get to the speckled steer on the bend. Right in there, Brad Kraft set a trap, catch a cow. Yes, sirs, well done, 12.24. Sorry, 11.24. Nothing wrong with me. 11.24, clean at the barrier, clean in. Clean in the field. Bruce Cannell, Peter McCormack, who we watch in 3:44. Are they going to turn one around for Tammy Augustin and Ian Augustin in 45? We'll then look for Gavin Tickle and Jared Fielder. Get him wrapped on the rubber bit and around the corner, friends. Oh no, Bruce. Oh, just got all a little bit wild and tangled up there, and a no time on the board. Bounty steer for Tammy Augustin and Ian Augustin. Tammy very proudly sponsored by SE Farrier Services. The Augustin clan. And of course, one of our favoured senior competitors here in the heel box in Mr. Ian Augustin. Ian, it's our pleasure to have you along here at Tamworth at the big show for 2017. You got yourself a speeding fine, but that's okay. Just get on the board, Tammy and Ian. Around we go. Oh boy, around they go. They let it go, but it didn't quite work. And a no time on the board. Next up, Gavin Tickle, Jared Fielder. They'll be followed by Abby Miller and Brady Smith. We'll then look for Robin Dowsett and Troy Lomax. We're then going to look for Melissa Welburn and Lacey J. O'Halloran. Gavin Tickle went to get one on to dend him round the corner. Jared picked up a foot too. They would have got a time, but no time on the board on that particular occasion. Let's go down to Abby Miller and Brady Smith. Pretty girls and fast horses. That's what we like to see. A little bit of a tough gig there, unfortunately, for Abby, and a no time on the board. Robin Dowsett will be next, ladies and gentlemen. Going to turn one around for Troy Lomax in 3:48. We'll then look for Melissa Wilburn and Lacey J. O'Halloran. Of course, Robin once again proudly supported by CM and RM Dowsett, but no joy there on that occasion, unfortunately. Let's go down to Melissa Wilburn and Lacey J. O'Halloran. Here's an all-girls team, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, an all-girls team that we're about to watch. Yeah, Melissa gets out cleanly, gets it on, waits and waits and waits. No such joy, unfortunately there on the last one. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, don't forget to go down to the Cattleman Steakhouse right next door to ALEC, because if you are down there wearing a hat, you get your first beer for free. A big thank you, Richard Manning. I tell you what, mate, we will do everything that we can to look after you. I'm going to get down there to Richard Manning because I've just been told on Facebook that there's a free prawn and horn for the announcer. There you go. The Cattleman Steakhouse. Well, ladies and gentlemen, take this opportunity right now to pass the microphone over to the one and only Mr. Big Show himself, Wayne McGee. Thanks, Wayno.
Well, thanks very much, Sean. Well, we're standing here in front of the Can-Am quad bikes that'll be given away this afternoon, or tonight, I beg your pardon, to maybe one of the teams that was in rotation number 6. We have a 450 and a 570. Both those bikes are for fourth and beg your pardon, third and fourth place tonight. And as you can see a little bit further along, we're into the Mitsubishis as well. But Can-Am Harvey Morris Motorcycles here in Tamworth have supplied the bikes here. The Mirage from Kensal Motors, it's the number 7 incentive. So one of our number 7 teams will win the Mirage. Now the Mirage has been supplied by Kensal Motors here in Tamworth. So if anyone's in the Tamworth area and you're looking for a Mitsubishi, go and see Timmy Kensal and the crew at Kensal Motors. We move on down the line a little bit further and we come to the Lancer. Now the Lancer is the second place getter's prize. That's what will be given to the team that ends up second in the number 8's. They get one of them each, and then we move down to the grand prize, which is the Mitsubishi Triton. The winner of the number 8's at the 2017 Mitsubishi Big Show will take one of these, along with $22,000 cash home. A big thank you once again to the guys from Kensal Motors. If you're in the look for a new car, you go down and see them and tell them I sent you, and I'll guarantee you the team down there will take care. Well, that's a bit of a rundown of the prizes, or some of the prizes we're going to give away here tonight. So good luck once again to all our competitors. We've still got 2 steers to rope. We've got the semi-finals coming up a little bit later on, and then the top 10 will come back in the short round. But while we wait for our next round of the 6th rotation to happen, we will cross over to the big screen to have a look at some of our sponsors.
And as Wayne McGee waves his arm in the air, we are ready to go with our check the barrier, we'll check the timer, we'll check the rest of the equipment here in our pre-flight check. Yep. We're yes across the board up here. And it looks like, ladies and gentlemen, we are just about to go. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, and Facebook fans around the world, let's go down to the roping box straight away. This time we're going to look for Melissa Welburn and Lacey J. O'Halloran. They're going to rope first out at number 289 in the draw. They'll be followed by Geordie and Cody. We'll then look for Lindsay Speedy and Mitch Waldersberger. Oh, we're going to get a speeding fine, but we're out clean this time. Oh, Melissa. No joy and a no time on the board for the all-girl team of Melissa and Lacey J. Jordan Moore, proudly sponsored by Rockin' M. She's going to turn one around for Cody Granger. Big thank you too, I should say, to City Form for helping Lacey J here in the 8th. So City Form, thank you very much. We thoroughly appreciate your support towards one of our wonderfully loyal young cowgirls in Lacey J. O'Halloran. Geordie jumps out a little bit too quick, but she's got it on, and Cody Granger comes around the story and throws one down with a 7.41 plus 5. Plus 5, a 7.41 plus 10 for a 17.41 for Jordan and Cody. Lindsay Speedy and Mitch Waldersberger. Lindsay gets one on and around the corner. Sets it up. Lindsay Speedy at a time on the board of 8.64. Plus 5, 8.64 plus 5 for a 13.64 for Lindsay and Mitch. South Australian header Gary Tielan going to turn one around the corner right now at 2.92 in the draw for his partner in Brian Holland. A big thank you to Territory Bandag. Proudly supporting Brian Holland here today in the number 6's rotation. Gets one on around the neck and around the bend we go, and hey, 1, 2, buckle that shoe clean. 8.17, thank you, sir. An 8.17 second run for Gary Tielan and Brian Holden. Bob Holder and Daryl Dix, thank you very much, gentlemen, for being standing there ready. You'll be followed immediately by Wade Farquhar and Danny Pacey. We'll then look for Adam Bates and Joe Birch. Adam Tozer and Lee Robson. Please be ready. Here's a team with 16.19 on the board after their first. Come on, boys. Bob and Darryl will be first to get 2 on after 2 out. Oh, boy. Little red and white steer left the heel loop alone. And a no joy and a no time on the board. Wade Farquhar, once again, ladies and gentlemen. Go to the northwestern corner of the entire building and you'll find Rockin' W Saddlery. Rockin' W Saddles and Wade Farquhar, wonderful supporters of the big show. He's going to turn one around for his partner in Danny Pacey. We'll then look for Adam Bates and Joe Birch. Adam and Lee be ready. Rachel Haley and Dave Brown. You'll follow them around the corner we go. Oh, goodness me, I tell you what, Danny Pacey. I thought your loop stood up just in time to get underneath at least one of those 2 hind feet, but no joy, unfortunately, on the back end. And a no time on the board. The Scone Bucking Bull Association have proudly sponsored Adam Bates here in the number 8's competition for this run with Joe Birch. Get it on, Batesy, and get around the bend. Joe Birch rides in, slides in, sets a trap. Oh, my goodness, I don't know how you'd do it if that didn't work. No time there, unfortunately, once again for the team of Bates and Birch. Adam Tozer, Lee Robson. Lee Robson very proudly sponsored by Rhine for tyres in Warwick. Adam Tozer, Lee Robson. Oh, yeah, Robbo. Well done, sir. 9.65. Boy, oh boy, to the lead of the average. They go on top of the 9.29 in round number 1 to give them a 2-round total thus far of 18.94. 18.94. Let's go down. Rachel Haley and Dave Brown. Oh, Rachel, yeah, get it wrapped around there and get it around the bend. Oh, bugger. Boy, oh, boy. She was so intent on making that work. Well done, Rachel. Been our pleasure to have you here this afternoon. Craig Dowsett's next up, ladies and gentlemen, with Rodney Crisp. They're at 2.98 in the draw. We're then going to look for Charlie Clancy and Barry Golter. They'll be followed by Jamie Robbins and Kel Lucas. We'll then look for 3.01. In Lauren Smith and Sally Pilgrim. Craig Dowsett bites down on that match again. Oh, goodness me, Mr. Dowsett. A good player out of luck, sir, and you deserved a bit of fate. No time on the board. Charlie Clancy. Barry Golter. Come on, boys, get out there and be on as quick and as fast as you can for the number 6's incentive and or the number 7's. Round the corner we go. Barry rides in, sets a trap, waits and waits and waits, and let's get him stretched, boys. There's a flag. 11.64 and 5, 11.64. Plus 5 for a 16.64 for the team of Charlie and Barry. Jamie Robbins and Kel Lucas make their way in. A big thank you to CMH Electrical. That's who's sponsoring Jamie Robbins here in this particular run. Jamie and Kel Lucas had a time on the board of 13.90 on their first steer. Come on, Jamie, run down a good, fast, true run and steer and get it out there and get it on and then get him round the bend. But no joy, unfortunately. Another no time on the board. Lauren Smith, Sally Pilgrim, another all-girls team. Here we go, 301 in the draw. And they'll be followed by Dunhill Abriel and Rob Leach in 302. John Flanagan and Kim Moulton, please be ready. We're clean through the barrier. 1, 2, 3, pitch it out and get a pair of horns, and around the corner we come for Sally Pilgrim to ride and slide. Delivers one, they fetched him, they just couldn't stretch him, and a no time on the board. Let's go to 302. Here's a team that was 14.07 on their first steer. The one, the only, Dunhill Abriel. Going to turn one around for the Rob Leach Equine-sponsored Cowboy and Rob Leach himself. Dunhill gets a, oh yeah, oh. Well, we've ended up with a front foot as well. We've got a figure-eighted front leg and no time for Dunhill and Rob Leach. John Flanagan and Kim Moulton, you're up in 303. You were 14.26 on your first steer. Let's come back and be one of only two teams to have two on after two out. We'll then look for Steve Hannon and Ben Brazier. Plenty of Facebook likes for you again, Kim Moulton. You must have 30,000 friends on the Facebook network. Steve Hannon, Ben Brazier, Allara Heavy Mechanical. Hey, if you're up there in the Southern Downs, ladies and gentlemen, and you got something big that's broken, get the bloke on the screen to fix it. He's as good as there is, and I've known him for 20 years. Hey, Stevie Hannon, you bet around the corner. Ben Brazier, another Warwick Cowboy, rides in, sets a trap. But no biscuits and no joy. Brett Woodbridge, Craig Guilford are up next. This team was 9.69 in round number one. Of course, Craig Guilford very proudly sponsored by Guilford Transport. They're going to be followed by Trenton J in 306. Drayden and Warwick be ready in 307. 308 will be Dave Shegog and William Thompson. Brett Woodbridge gets out on a soft run and steer, gives himself plenty of time to get it right. Let's get on there twice, you boys. Craig waits for his shot, takes his shot, lets it lay, makes it pay. Just get on the board. Oh, we're plus 5, 13.73 and 5 for an 18.73 seconds to give them a two-round total of 28.42. Another team on the board with two. Well done, gentlemen. That's what it's all about for Brett and Craig. Let's go to Trent Eggins and Jay Green. Here's a number 6s and a team eligible for the number 6 incentive and or the number 7s. Oh, Trent. No joy. Let's go down to the Robbie Boynton sponsored Cowboy in the heading box in Drayden Hutchins. He's going to turn one around for Warwick Kime. And they're going to rope a bounty steer, ladies and gentlemen, and you're going to see it right here live at the 8 Lakh Arena. Tamworth, New South Wales, Australia, 2017. You got to be under 10 seconds and clean, boys. Get it out on old Blackie and get it on. Oh, the young man, I tell you what, Drayden Hutchins, you have got some delivery in your loop, young man. Don't lose that. That was a good player out of luck. You deserved a better fate, but a no time on the board. 308 is where we're going to go for Dave Shegog and William Thompson. They'll be followed by Wade Forster and Terry Flute, Darren Livingston and Chris McKenzie on deck. Tom Morrison and Rob Haley, please be ready. Dave Shegog clean through the barrier. Waits for his turn, takes the slack, goes to draw his steer around the corner, but no joy there, unfortunately. Of course, William Thompson, very proudly sponsored by Dartmoor Limestone and Mills. Wade Forster, Terry Flute. Of course, Terry Flute proudly presented here today in the number 8's competition by the JR Cattle Company. Bit of bad luck in number 1. Gets out there now in Wade Forster, a little bit quick, but let's get one around the bend anyway, boys. Oh, get it wrapped around the rubber bit and then ride to the left. No, it didn't work. I tell you what, it didn't feel real good there for young Wade Forster, neither in his right hand. No time on the board. Let's have a look at Darren Livingston and Chris McKenzie. They're going to rope at 3:10 in the draw. 3:11 will be Tom Morrison and Rob Haley, and 3:12 will be Tielan and Tony Lillyman. Darren Livingston gets one on around for Chris McKenzie. He's going to have to let it lay to make it pay, and he did so. A clean run of 12.20. 12 and 2. Well done, gentlemen. The Livingston Concrete sponsored Cowboy on the head and the Rawhide Western Wear sponsored Cowboy on the heels. Let's go down again to the Rockabilly Performance Stables. Tom Morrison, Rob Haley. Oh, let's go out there and get a little bit of rockabilly onto it. Tommy Morrison. Oh, gee whiz, got a little too far down this end of the pen by the time we got it all to work, and a no time on the board. Okay, Teal Ayres, Tony Lillyman. Why don't you two jump in there and take a new motor car home? No Winifred Pro sponsored Cowboy and Tony Lillyman. An 8.60 round number 1. Here's their chance to go to the lead. Yeah. Oh. Oh. Oh no. Unfortunately there it didn't work. No time on the board. Simon Collins and Scott Fuller, gentlemen, you're up next. The Beachmere Fiberglass sponsored Cowboys. They're going to be followed by David Corr and Brandon Tills. We'll then look for Mark Horwich and Bernard Delalio. Daniel and Lachlan Flanagan, please be ready. So let's go down to Simon and Scott. Will then be followed by David and Brandon. And then Mark and Bernard. And then Daniel and Lachlan. Oh, goodness me, I thought that looked better than a cold beer on a Friday night. Talking about a cold beer, ladies and gentlemen, if you get down to the Cattleman Steakhouse, throughout the course of this afternoon or this evening, if you're wearing a hat, your first beer is free. Good on you, Richard Manning. We thoroughly appreciate it, mate. That's very kind. And we will do everything we can to support you. If you want to look after a cowboy, you'll be looked after by a cowboy. David Corr in the heading box, ladies and gentlemen, and then the Ace B fencing sponsored Cowboy, Brandon Tills on the back end. Oh, yeah, you got it on well, David. Oh, no. No joy. They were 8.48 on their first steer, 2. One of our great senior competitors. Unfortunately there for David and Brandon. Mark Horwich, you and Bernard Delalio have made your way in. You were 14.54 on 1 after 1. Not a whole lot of joy there. A bit of trouble in the box there, unfortunately, for Mark and Bernard. Let's go to Daniel Flanagan and Lachlan Flanagan. 3.16 in the draw. Oh, yeah, through it. A long way. More bombs than Baghdad. Daniel Flanagan, Lachlan Flanagan. Well done, gentlemen. Hey, 10.24. A 10.24 to go on top of their 12.74 in round number 1 gives them a 2-round time of about 22.98. 22.98 for the Flanagan boys. Let's go to Emily Salter and Pete Salter. Instinct Outdoors. Instinct Outdoors is who's sponsoring both of the Salters in the roping boxes right now. No time in number 1. Emily's going to look to get it out and get it on and get it clean and get it round the bend and get it in there so Pete can grab himself a pair. Oh, well, in, out. Went left, went right, not on. No time, unfortunately, on that occasion as Peter Todd Sr., proudly sponsored here again by Peter Todd Equine Services. He's going to turn one around right now in 3.18 for Darryl Brown. We need Peter Todd Sr. and Darryl Brown in there. You gentlemen, I believe, have jumped the queue, which is not a bad thing, but it just means you have to give the announcer $1,000 cash each. So I've done really well out of you two boys right there. Thank you very much, JD and Jackson. That's $2,000 in the announcer's pocket. Peter Todd Sr. and Darryl Brown, you're up, gentlemen, in 3.18. Then we'll look for you, JD and Jackson. No joy, unfortunately, there for Peter Todd Sr. No time on the board. Here we go down now to 2 young gentlemen. J.D. Craft, proudly sponsored by Elevale Transport. He's going to turn one around for Jackson Denning. Taminda Hydraulics and Engineering. Don't forget, Jackson, you can ride your horse back down the pen, old mate. Oh, J.D. I tell you what, little mate. That $1,000 that you had to give me, I'm going to give it back to you. I'll give it back to you just because I'm pretty high on you. You're a wonderful young fella. Let's go next up to Paris Denning and Michael Denning. We just need a horse back, please. Jackson Denning, pretty sure we might need your pony. At the speed of 1,000 wounded gazelles. Jackson remembers that he's got to bring his horse back this end. He's just got to shift the seat forward so Paris can reach the wheel. And then we'll be underway with Paris and Michael Denning. Of course, Michael very proudly sponsored once again by MJ Denning Proprietary Limited. We'll then look for 321 in the draw, Justin Searle and Mick Hockley. 322 will be John Winsper and Brendan Kirsch. And Kai Clark and Clayton Lane. You two are going to rope at 3-2-3. Currently 3-2-1. Paris Denning gets outside. Oh, goodness me, Paris. I thought you'd roped a couple of steers. Unfortunately, no time there for the Denning family. Let's go down to a bounty steer. A bounty steer, ladies and gentlemen. A big thank you to A&S Moore Farm Partnership. They're helping Justin Searle back into the box here to rope a bounty steer along with his good friend and partner, Mick Hockley. They're going to be followed by John and Brendan. We'll then look for Kai and Clayton. John Douch and Brett Lewis, please be ready. Lovely looking head loop for Justin Searle. Mick Hockley gets on there. Yep. There's a time on the board, +5 of 7.68. A 7.68 and 5 for a 12.68 on 1 after 2 for the Searle and Hockley team. John Winsper Brendan Kirsch, proper caps and apparel on the Kirsch side. This team was 10.33 on their first. Gets it out and gets it on and ends up in the catch pen, and no joy there for that team, unfortunately. For John and Brendan, a no time. Kai Clark and Clayton Lane, a 3-2-3, and they're out fast. Around the corner, well done. Oh, Little Red takes a snooze. Clayton Lane will handle it, but yeah, get it out there and get it under. A little bit of a bobble there on a couple of different occasions, unfortunately, for the Clark and Lane combination, no joy. John Douch, Brett Lewis, a bounty steer, gentlemen, for one of the wonderful raw Western gear rope halters, handmade, 1,350 kilos breaking strain on the material used in the halter, 3 or 3.5 ton, I forget, breaking strain on the lead rope. But you got a horse that can break them, you're in strife. Three, 2, 4 in the draw. We watch the clean through the barrier on this occasion. Get out and around Johnny Douch. You betcha. Well done. Keep heading left. Oh, yeah. Get it on and stretched. Oh, bummer. Brett Lewis, unfortunately for the team of John and Brett, no time on the board. Let's go to the Kirsch family. Tatum and Darcy, 16.45. They were in their first. Proper caps and apparel, of course. Nice loop, Tatum. Round the corner, Darcy Kirsch, pick up 1, 2. One's going to have to do in a 10.84 plus 5. 10.84. And 5 is a 15.84. To go on top of their 16.45 is going to give them a 2-round time of 32.29. Natalie Kimber and Jack Winspur are next into the box. Thank you, Natalie. She is always waiting right there. One of the most prompt cowgirls or cowboys that I've ever seen. Natalie Kimber and Jack Winspur. Cowpersons. Jack Winspur very proudly sponsored by Cloncurry Tyres and Batteries. Oh, Natalie gets one on, get it round the bend. Jack Winspur rides in and picks up one, a time on the board of 10.48 plus 5. 10.48 and 5. Heaps of speed involved in that particular run. At a 15.48 on 1 after 2. Clint Litchfield, you and Millen Litchfield will be up right now. Number 327 in the draw. And you'll be followed by Aaron Lynch and Jess Munro. Zach Leitner and partner, please be ready. Oh, goodness me. Ended up a little bit close to the wall over there. And a no time on the board for the Litchfield clan. No time. Let's go down to Red River Rural and Arenas. Red River Rural and Arenas, Andrew Lynch right here, downtown Tamworth. A young lady on the back end goes by the name of Jess Munro. Also calls downtown Tamworth home at the moment. Oh, bummer. Andrew Lynch got one out there quickly to get one on, but it didn't all quite work. Let's go to the 180 clothing sponsored Cowboy and Zach Leitner. He's going to turn one around for the Big M Welding sponsored competitor in Scott McRae. $180 clothing. Out on the black and white steered. Oh, gee whiz, Zach deserved a better fate. No time on the board, unfortunately. Mel Fishenden and Brittany Besant we watch. They'll be followed by Dean and Ty in 3:31. 3:32 will be Todd and Courtney. 33, Melissa and Jai. Hay gets it on. Mel Fishing, a nice job. Around the bend we go. Brittany rides in to set a trap and catch a cow, but no Joy, unfortunately. And a no time on the board. The next team in, ladies and gentlemen, is the number 6's team here in the number 8's competition, which makes them eligible for plenty. A 15.01 on their first steer. Oh, no Joy there, unfortunately, for Dean. And no time on the board. Todd Litchfield and Courtney Hallam, that's who we got. This team can go to the lead. They were 8.80 on their first. Have a look at this young man deliver one out and get it on. Take a dally around the corner. Put a nice handle on it for the beautiful Miss Courtney Hallam. Oh, goodness me, Courtney. Well. Had 2 shots at the title. The first one was a ripper at 8.8, and that one wasn't quite as enjoyable in the end for you, unfortunately. We go to Melissa Harlan and Jai Robson. They'll be followed by Robbie, and Robbie will then look for Clint, and then we'll go to Alan Hanlon and Paul Hunkin once again. We jumped out through the barrier there, and unfortunately there for Melissa, not a whole lot of joy there with the head loop and a no time on the board. Let's go down to Robbie White Jr. and Senior. 12.89 on their first run. Let's get out and do the same thing, but be clean this time, Robbie White Jr. Get one turned around for Dad, but oh, well, we drag him from the deep depths of despair, and let's see if Senior can put one on. Get a handle on him and get him down the fence, Junior. Yeah. Hey, a time +5 of 1956. 1956 +5 for 24.56. That goes on top of their 12.89 to give them a 2-round time of 37.45. We move down now to Clint Tills and Clint Dolan. Clint Dolan, of course, very proudly sponsored here in this particular run by the Bowley Barn Hotel in the Townsville district. Let's go to Mareeba on the front. Townsville on the back end. And let's have a look at a little bit of North Queensland action right now. He ropes from the heart, does this man. Oh, goodness me, Clint Tills. He got out of the box and sent it flying, but unfortunately no time for the team of Tills and Dolan. Let's go down to Alan Hanlon and Paul Hunkin in 3:36. We'll then look for Katie Vaughan and Johnny Gordon in 37. 38 will be Ken and Russell. 39 will be Troy McKinley and Matthew Edwards. This team was 8.6 on their first. Hey, around the neck will do. There's a time +5 of 12.93. Hey, that'll make you happy, boys. A 17.93 after 5 seconds to go on top of your 8.6. It's going to give you a 2-round total of 26.53, 26 and 53. Katie Vaughan, Johnny Gordon, you're up. Oh, no. No joy. Let's see what we can do right now with the bounty steer for Ken Lucas and Russell Stanley. Ken Lucas, Russell Stanley. Just overshot him there a little bit, unfortunately. And a no time on the board. Troy McKinley, you're up, sir. You got Matthew Edwards on the back end, very proudly sponsored by Coastal Warehouse. We'll then look for Thomas Whitwell and Steve McNamara in 340. 341 will be Brett Cooley and TJ Scoggin, and 342 will be Nicole Murray and Wendy Caban. Get him on there, Troy. Get him round the bend and in rides Matty Edwards. Come on, Matthew, you're going to wait for your shot. Then you're going to take your shot. Oh, goodness me. You're going to make it work. Just keep trying hard. There you go, boys. Was that plus 5? Plus 5 at 12.34. Plus 5. 12.34 and 5 for 17.34 for the team of McKinley and Edwards. Thomas Whitwell and Steve McNamara. IV Vet Supply sponsored Cowboy in Steve McNamara. Around we go. We busted out and got 5 free ones, but come on, Mr. McNamara, slide in there and get one. Well. No joy, unfortunately, as we slide down into a bounty steer. 8 left, Matthew. 8 left, Monzi. Brett Cooley, ladies and gentlemen, they're 341 in the draw. Brett Cooley and TJ Scoggin. And they're going to precede Nicole Murray and Wendy Caban. Well, they're going to go over the page to Terry McGovern and Brad Kraft. Bruce Connell and Peter McCormack. Please be ready. Brett Cooley. Oh, gee whiz, no joy there for the Cooley and Scoggin combination, and a no time on the board. Nicole Murray. West Insurance Brokers and Piranha Insurance sponsored young lady in the box. She's going to turn one around for the Shift Easy app sponsored young lady in the heel box in Wendy Caban. Oh, Nicole Murray, I thought you were fished it on there at one stage. No joy, unfortunately, for the all-girls team. In Nicole and Wendy, they leave with a no time as Terry McGovern rides into the heading box for Brad Kraft. They got themselves a real quick steer in round number 1, if I remember correctly. They were 11.24. Let's be one of the other teams to get one back on after 2 out. Don't worry about the barrier, boys. Just come back and you, I think, oh, goodness me. Brad Kraft. No time on the board there for Terry McGovern and Bradley Kraft. 344 in the draw. Bruce Connell and Peter McCormack. They're on a bounty steer. Boys, you only got to be under 10 and clean, and you'll take away one of the amazing Raw Western Gear halters. Ron and Wombles, RAW Raw. Bruce and Peter will be followed now by Tammy and Ian. Will then look for Gavin and Jared. No joy there on the head loop, unfortunately, for Bruce, and a no time on the board. Another bounty steer, hey? Another one. Proudly sponsored by SE Farrier Services. There's the young lady riding into the box right now. Tammy Augustin. She's going to turn one around for Ian Augustin. And hopefully, we're going to see one of the fastest, cleanest runs of the competition, so they may be able to come back to the semi-finals on 1 after 2. Come on, Tammy, get out there and get it on and get your red and white steer around the corner. So Ian can ride in, slide in, set a trap. Catch a cow, clean we were, 11.76. 11.76 for the Augustin team. Yeah. Gavin Tickle. Going to turn one around for Jared Fielder, 3.46 in the draw. Around we go, set a trap, boy, oh boy, you got the tip of the loop all the way through there, Jared Fielder too. I'm just not sure how it didn't open up and let Little Blackie into the trap. So unfortunately a no time on the board for the Tickle and Fielder combination. Abby Miller and Brady Smith. Be bold, Abby. Get out there and get it on and get the little black and white steer around the corner for your partner in Brady Smith. Yeah. Get a stretch. You got him fetched. Get him stretched. But a no time on the board. Unfortunately, not a whole lot of joy there. And the final team out here now in rotation number 6. The final team out in the number 8's long round. The preliminaries. It's going to be Robin Dowsett and Troy Lomax. For all our friends out there, we will be having an hour's break at the completion of this run. So by 20 past to 30 past 3, we will be back with a semi-final round of 40. No joy there, unfortunately, for Robin, and she and the healer of Troy Lomax leave the arena with a no time.